He was living with his parents. His dad had them all.
Yeah, I've got more than 12 in my house that they've come looking.
You bought bullets, you only bought 50. What's that?
Alrighty.
Alright.
Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I think so.
Alrighty. We got 2 more minutes.
We can start if we want to. Turn this on, and I've got this one over here going too, so if you need to show something up close. What?
I'll start with this one.
It looks kind of nice to be destroying.
It's just,
Got that nasty old white truck in the background there with all the rust on it. Like I didn't think about that.
yeah,
Can we get a better angle of this? There we go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
this is a nice piece of curly maple.
Yes.
And this is
That's
this one
nice.
you've seen before. That's
What kind
maple.
was that?
Huh?
What kind of wood was
This
that?
one? This is maple. This is maple. Not sure. I think it's fog. And same as this one. I'm not sure what they are.
Looks kind of like ash.
Could it be? Yeah. And I used this one for another demo at one time where I was using a wood burner
Oh, okay.
and marked all the what they call winter growth, the smaller, more fibrous grain in the wood, and marked it all. So I'm going to basically burn the outside of this one tonight. Okay, we ready to rock? Huh? Here. Ah!
Official.
There we go. Good evening. Welcome. Tonight we're going to take a look at a process of finishing off a bowl. This I learned from a fellow who lived out in Arizona or Wyoming or whatever, Phil Brennan, who at one point in time was the president of AAW, and he experimented with different kinds of finishes, and in fact he Can you guys see okay? Jared? This is, has anybody ever used a gunpowder finish before? Okay, gunpowder finish is one that will give you a really nice random burn wherever you place it on your bowl and then set it off for just fun. We're going to use 2 different kinds of stuff here tonight. This one is pistol powder and this is rifle powder. The difference in them is the rifle powder, and I can pass this around, has really consistent texture to it. So your burn is going to be really consistent as far as the little black marks that it makes into the wood. The this rifle powder is very consistent. The pistol powder has a bit different granulation to it, so it's not nearly as fine. So you've got some fine stuff in there, you've got bigger chunks of stuff in there, so I'll pass these around so you can take a look at them if you're unfamiliar with loading and pistol powder and all this good stuff. Oh, ye of little faith. Yeah. Oh no, that's the, I'm going to do, like I say, I'm going to do pistol powder, I'm doing rifle powder, and then the third technique I'm going to use tonight is a bit of potassium nitrite mixed with sugar into a paste of powder, or a little bit of a paste. Okay, when I mix those together. And the reason you want to do that is that you can do all kinds of different shapes with the paste. You can put it on in a big glob and it'll burn down into the bowl. You can do thin little pieces with it. It's almost like you can make it the consistency of like Play-Doh and play with it with your fingers. The one thing I caution you is that when you're using potassium nitrite, it is a compound that they use quite a bit in the butchering industry, meat processing. This is the nasty stuff that they put into bacon and sausage and hot dogs and all of that stuff, so that once they've processed it, it stays nice and pink and doesn't oxidize to a brown color. Potassium nitrite is also referred to as saltpeter, okay? The old-fashioned name for it. This stuff also, by the way, once I set fire to it, then it forever changes it to potassium nitride. And that's when you cook your bacon or your sausage and you put the heat of the saucepan or skillet to it, this becomes potassium nitride, and that's what is the harmful part about processed meat, okay? So use it on your bowls. Don't eat this stuff anymore, please. It's bad for you. Anyway, we're going to play with that a little bit later. So to begin with, what you have to do is you need to turn your piece that you want to put this kind of gunpowder decoration on. And you can apply any area of the bowl. You can do any kind of a shape that you want. And I brought along this green automotive detail tape. Okay, so I could put this on the roll up here on the top. Anywhere I have the green tape I'm not going to put any of the gunpowder. Okay, yeah. Or I could take an X-Acto knife and a piece of glass and lay this down on there and cut a squiggly kind of shape. Lay that on there. I could then put the glue on the piece, and it's not going to go through the tape. Okay. So I use the tape to block off areas to keep them from getting the gunpowder on it. Next thing, thank you. The next thing is that one of the things that I want to use in order to put these compounds on here is that, or the powder on here, is I want to use Elmer's glue sticks, but the glue stick that you buy at Hobby Lobby for scrapbooking. Okay, the scrapbooking glue that you have has a very low level of acid in it, so that when you do set it off, it more completely burns up your glue and you won't have a sticky residue. If I just go get a regular old Elmer's glue stick, that's going to have a certain amount of acid in it. It's not going to burn completely off of my wood piece, and then I'm going to have to go back and clean up my piece. Okay? Let's see.
So specifically, you want the one for scrapbooking?
For scrapbooking. When you go to Hobby Lobby to get this stuff, you want to ask them where the scrapbooking section is, and they will have these glue sticks. I bought this whole set, 3 or 4 different things. This is kind of cool because it's a smaller tip to be able to put stuff on with. And then this one has kind of a dual tip, real small. I can put on very little glue or as much as I need to. And then this has another wider tip out here. So complete set, but this is all back in the scrapbooking section, okay? And then there's just a bigger one than this, okay? Any questions so far? Nope, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just, for the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some gunpowder up here on the edge. I'm going to use pistol powder to begin with, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue up here. I'll put my pistol powder in here, and then I'll just simply set this down in here, okay? Now, one of the things that you want to do, if you want to do this and make it look really, really nice, is you only want to put enough glue to get like a single layer of powder in this, okay? Don't put so much glue that you really load it up, because it's not going to burn as well, and it's not going to leave you the kind of pattern and design that your pistol powder or your rifle powder will do for you, okay? So if you look at it when you're done and you go, I want more than that, then do a second or third or fourth layer of it. Don't just expect to be able to do it all in one layer. And really pack it on there. It doesn't burn as well. And what it does is it really loses the effect of the design of the powder burning into the wood. Okay? So take a little bit of glue. Let's see.
What you need?
I thought I brought out a can of denatured alcohol and a rag. Did I leave that somewhere?
Don't know. I can get you a rag. I've got shop towels in my truck.
Oh, here it is. Got it.
See if you need them. I got those blue shop towels in the truck.
Yeah. Nope. Got it right here. The reason I have the denatured alcohol here is that once I do the burn, then I want to let the piece cool down a tiny bit, and then I want to go over and rub it with denatured alcohol. Two reasons. One is that when I do the burn, the powder is going to go into the bowl, the wooden piece, but it's going to leave a little bit of a lighter tan from the resin in the wood that's burning. It leaves a little bit of a shadow kind of thing on there. So I want to clean it up with this, okay? The other reason I want to do that is I want to, any residue of the glycerin that's in the rifle powder or gunpowder, I'm wiping it off, as well as the possibility of any of the glue left in there. So I'm just cleaning up the piece of wood and making it look a little nicer, okay? So we'll do that later. Questions?
Does shotgun powder work as well as rifle or pistol?
I suppose so. Yeah. Now, is the shotgun one the little bitty rods?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's very similar to that style.
Rifle powder? Yeah.
Rifle and pistol.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the grade is.
There is one out there that is kind of a little dots, red dot kind of stuff. It doesn't work very well at all. But the one that I am looking for again is, there was at one time the rifle powder that looked like little tiny rods. And it looked like you go to Crackles and you get the ice cream and you want some sprinkles or jimmies on it, and that's kind of what it looked like, a little bit smaller. And that burned in a completely different pattern, okay? Because you would lay it out, and some of the rods would be going this way, and some this way, and others that way. And so it made for a very unique kind of pattern. Yeah, the people that I talked to over at in Lovington, they didn't have anything like that. They all only had just the granular. And if I could find the other, that it's really a very unique kind of pattern that you create.
Yeah, I don't know if Darnell's in Bloomington has any of that or not.
Yeah. I noticed.
Are those black powder or are they regular smokeless powder?
The rifle powder is smokeless, and this is
Pyrodex?
yeah. And so when we set off the rifle powder, it's not going to be nearly as much fun because there's not a lot of smoke and stuff going on with it. Okay. So anyway, I'll take this. And I'm just smearing a little bit of this on here.
Another place you can find that glue is at Dollar General too. They got a little craft section.
Yeah.
Like that, stick glue.
This one is photo, and so that you have that low acid to it, you know. Take a little pistol powder here.
So you don't do the whole rim at one time?
You could if you wanted to.
Be more spectacular.
All right, all right. Yeah, I think the more.
Do you want a face shield for this one?
No, I got glasses.
All right.
This,
Keep your eyebrows.
the thing of it is, it doesn't flare up. It doesn't explode. It doesn't do a lot of stuff. All it does is burns and creates a lot of smoke.
Black powder does a lot of flare. You're the perfect height under there, Jerry. Yeah, the breeze definitely died down today.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
An American margarita.
Yeah. Waiting for an opportunity. I have done this probably maybe as much as 10 years ago. Yeah, and I've never seen anybody bring for a show and yell.
Black powder. I know how explosive that's.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I don't have much hair on my head. I like to keep the rest of
Okay.
it.
Ready. And that's the problem you sometimes have with this.
If you use map gas instead of the
Yeah. I have used map gas. I really like it a lot. Hmm?
because you're tipping it forward.
Yeah.
That's what it's doing. Not liking that.
Hold the ball with one hand.
Here we go.
I can't imagine. What they go on. Looking good, Corey.
Oh, they shut her all the way off.
Hmm?
Righty, tighty, lefty.
Yeah, it cranks all the way.
Stop it. I'm ready for the next one. Huh? So now,
There it goes. Just had a lot left in there.
okay. So now I can look at this and see that I probably need to put a few more areas in here and fill this in. But here, we'll pass that around. Take a look at that. While it's warm, get them while they're hot.
Back down just a little bit.
you had a spot on there that you thought was too dark, or it was out of where you wanted it,
Yeah.
can you sand that off?
Yeah,
then?
the pistol powder doesn't burn in very far because there's just not that much quantity to that granular piece. So you can then come back and do it again or however much you want to do. That may be enough for some people, and others that's not even close.
And that was pistol powder you used?
Yeah, that was pistol to start with.
Yeah, that was the black powder.
Yeah.
So the other one's a smokeless powder, though.
Huh?
This other one's a smokeless powder. Though.
Yeah, that's supposed to be smokeless.
So then, when you got all of your burning finished, what kind of finish would you put on
I
top of that?
I would just use the same that I normally would use on a piece, satin water-based polyurethane, and spray it on and do whatever. If I was going to think about that, just that rim going to be done, then I would have sanded the inside of the bowl to 320, 400, and then I would, then I could just spray the whole thing out at one time, you know.
Now, if you didn't want any burnout, like on the inside of that bowl, would you put the tape
Yeah, I could.
on the inside
Yeah,
of that?
I could take the tape.
Burn a sharp
Exactly.
right around the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah, and I like this. This is this I get at the AutoZone or whatever. It's car detailing tape. Yeah, it bends really nice, and it's really got good stickum on it. Okay, and when you go to buy this, you can buy this in any width you want, up to I think an inch and a quarter or something like that. But it also, they make it down into like 3 mils wide, 4 mils wide, and you can really do a nice line on there. I find that the car detail tape sticks on stuff a lot better than, say, the blue painter's tape or the brown masking tape. And this one, the car detail tape like this, also, if you're going to do sandblasting pieces and you don't want to sandblast all of the, you just want to keep sandblasting in a certain area, then you put this on. This sticks on better than just about anything else. And when you go to take it off, there's no glue residue left on there, like you'll get possibly with a blue painter's tape or the brown, the old-fashioned brown masking tape. This just, this will stand up under the sandblasting gun of in the cabinet. Okay, so we could go on and we could do some more if we wanted, but let's do something here on the back. So all I'm going to do, where I have my concave on here, I'm going to put a little powder in here, and I'll just tape it off with this green tape. I mentioned Phil Brennan a few minutes ago, former president of AAW, great woodturner in his own right and all. And after he played around with this stuff, his next venture into surface enhancement was shotgun finishes. And he would take them out in the field and actually shoot them with shotguns. And he was a good guy.
What, are you shooting the just pellets at it, or what?
Shotgun.
This is a regular old shotgun?
Yeah, you know, bird shot or buckshot or whatever it was. And then the other thing that he did that I always found fascinating is he would take a finished bowl, okay, and take a square in kind of a punch, and he'd go through and just tap, okay? Tap, a quarter of an inch in with a punch, square punch, so that you had a round hole with a straight bottom on it. And then he would go through this and put the pattern of this punch in the bowl, okay? And then he would soak the thing and put it, or he would then turn, he would do a quarter of an inch deep. He'd then take an eighth of an inch off the piece and then soak it and let those wood fibers come out and expand beyond the outside of the bowl then. So you had this kind of nubby looking look to the piece. Yeah, he did a lot of very cool stuff that with finishes and all.
Did he ever write a book or anything?
No. Unfortunately, he several years before he passed, he'd been in this horrendous car wreck and really cut into his ability to stand at a lathe and do turning and that kind of thing. But he did really good stuff. So I'm just kind of filling in the bottom here.
Corey, did you try to simulate a pattern or not? Just random?
This works random much better than it does trying to do a particular pattern. If you're going to do pattern or want to texture a certain area of your bowl and not others, then that's where you use your tape and cut it into whatever shapes or whatever you want.
You wanted a soft edge, like you wanted the rim done, but not much into the bowl. but
Right.
You don't want a hard line. You could fill the rest of the bowl with sand.
Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah. I have seen people use that, and the tape works pretty well, and sand would work very well for it.
This is the weirdest cooking show I've ever seen.
I know. Bon appetit.
Put it in that truck door and pull up.
Your truck board?
I'm just trying to get this even on here.
That's the same collar.
Yeah, the same one I used on the other.
Ta-da!
Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's what we wanted to see tonight. So I just made a little bit of a pattern like that. that's what we wanted right there.
Doesn't go very deep, does it?
No. No, I filled that up level. That was my concave that I had on the bottom. And,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything with the powder on a live edge, like with bark or anything of that sort?
No, I sure haven't. Most of the stuff that I do that's live edge, the wood in and of itself can speak to you. You know, these are pieces that are pretty simple, pretty plain grain in them, not a lot of character, not a lot of anything else on it. And so that's why I chose these pieces to do.
Just curious what difference.
Yeah, you could certainly. Yeah, you could certainly try it. If you had like a bark inclusion, you could put a little powder in that, and it would set it off and maybe texturize it and make it more interesting. I don't know. Yeah, Mike. You could. Yeah. Yep. And then tape it on, and yeah, you could do that. If you wanted a specific kind of a star pattern or, goldfish or whatever, you could do that. Yeah, that would work also.
One of those vinyl cutters and
Yeah.
cut out the pattern.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you had a cricket at home, you could do all kinds of cool shapes and stuff on there. Yes, Roger. If you'd like.
This is not going to be one of those videos.
Yeah.
You said when you were first talking about doing this, when you put the glue on, not to put too much on.
Right.
But whenever I was watching you, especially on this, put on both of them, you were really rubbing it.
Yeah.
Does it not come off there good, or what was the deal?
Uh,
I couldn't tell how much you had on your piece.
Right. I had enough that I knew, because I was going to have it built up a little bit because of a concave in there. So I put a little extra glue on it, but that rim that I first did, that was a very, very light coat of powder on there. Okay? Other questions? All righty. Well, let's continue.
You know, this pattern's not symmetrical.
What? I did everything I could to get that just right. You know what? If it's gonna go bad, it'll always go bad in a demo, No matter what. It doesn't matter.
Just have to adjust your iconography.
Yep, exactly. So I'm gonna do a little bit here. On this piece that I did a demo on earlier, you can see I've got a very clear line of demarcation there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to get your void card to buy some pattern.
Oh, you don't need it. You don't need it. Nope, don't need a Floyd card to buy powder. Interestingly enough, it's not considered an explosive. Okay? Until you put it into a cartridge, or you put it into some kind of confined fashion that will cause it to explode. Okay? The reason this is safe enough to use out like this is that I'm not confining any of it such that it would explode. I would, and thank you for saying that, Sam, because one of the cautions you want to use with this is that you don't want to try to do this on the inside of a lidded box, okay? Because the powder in there, you may be confining it too much, and then you will have explosion, okay? This you can go in, my friends over at the gun shop in Lovington, I go in, I look, I say, oh, this is the one I want, and they said, oh, you reload? I said, no. Oh, well, what do you need powder for? Oh, well, I'm gonna use this as a surface enhancement on a wooden bowl.
Okay. You bought it in Indiana, though, right?
No.
You bought the powder in Indiana?
No, Lovington.
Lovington?
Yeah. Illinois.
According to
Zan-
Illinois State Police, you do need a FOID card to purchase powder. Because I bought some over Darnell's in Bloomington.
Yeah.
I needed to present a FOID card.
Well, like I say, what's the name of the place in Levington? Jarchen's? Who? Yeah. Husband and wife team. Yeah, they've got this tiny little store, and if you're going to walk down the aisle, you have to walk sideways because everything's packed floor to ceiling in there, right? I just bought this last Friday over there, and no question at all. So,
Where's that container?
The rifle powder was 30, and the pistol powder is 28. Okay, I noticed that some of the containers they say that there's a cellulose something or other, sodium cellulose or something that they use in gunpowder that is in extraordinarily short supply right now and has shot the prices of gunpowder up
Imagine that.
big time. Yeah. And so, I just walked in and talked to them, and in fact, they looked at me so funny that I was going to be decorating bowls with this stuff, that I invited them both to come tonight, simply because I don't think, one, they believed me, and secondly, they had never probably heard of such a thing. So I invited both of them to come tonight, because they're just nice people. Yeah. But yeah, this place, also, when you go in over there, signs in the window. If you smell of pot or alcohol, don't bother to come in. Yeah. So I was able to get in there and out without them noticing. So no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Just wanting your money.
Yeah, exactly.
They can go on our YouTube channel eventually and see that you can.
But I have bought this. Let me see. I bought powder in Connecticut, and I bought powder here in Illinois, and didn't need a FOID card for either one of them. So. Does that mean we could get busted tonight here, John?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, reading through this,
One of two states that even have FOID cards, aren't we?
I think we're the only state.
I was thinking there was another one, I can't remember which one it was.
Probably California or New York.
Yeah, you'll be a celebrity now on YouTube.
Real viral.
Nah, I don't think so.
Or you gotta take your powder, and I think that's more than you're gonna use in the next 15 years.
Yeah.
But put it in smaller batches and sell it to club members for $5 or whatever.
If people would like that, I'd be glad to sell. Oh, an ounce. Ooh. a dime bag of black powder. Yeah.
I told you they noticed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Surprising you were able to get in.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Corey, that
Yeah.
you got $60 worth of stuff there that, and I don't know if anybody else, but I'm not gonna go buy $60 worth of powder to try this, but
Yeah.
I'd buy a $5, $10 powder.
Okay.
Get a dime bag.
Yeah, a dime bag. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good.
Let me mute the live broadcast.
Oh, Corey will be selling dime bags.
Yeah. And I'll be over. And I'll be over at the door, and you'll be real slick about giving me a 10 spot, and I'll give you your bag. Now, before we go any further on this, I'm just going to burn a line in this piece and show you how I can form and get a bit of a line here. And before Roger has to tell me that it's off it by a millimeter over here, I just eyeballed this in, okay, guys?
Way to pay attention. You're gonna do a line.
Yeah, I'm doing lines here. You guys, boy, this is an interesting crowd tonight.
It's rowdy out here. Those outdoor crowds get rowdy.
Once things got legal, everybody got real knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Notice that?
Yep.
Bottom bog out.
Does this gunpowder last forever, or is it
Yeah.
just out there?
As long as you keep it canned, well sealed.
Keep it dry.
And, yeah,
Yeah,
keep it dry and keep it in a warm place.
Especially the black powder.
Yeah.
Keep it in a warm place, but not too warm.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What?
You might stand out away from a file there.
Oh, come on.
Definitely got that black powder smell.
Yes. I love it.
I used to do a lot of cowboy shooting. There were a lot of black powder shooters out there.
Yeah.
There's one out there now that's it's a kind of a fake black powder. I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be called American Pioneer powder. It was like a clean black powder.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was such.
Yeah. I like having the smoke and the snow.
It basically it creates smoke, but you have the cleanup of the pistol.
Yeah.
Like just like a smokeless powder.
Mm-hmm.
So you just need.
So you see, you can shape that tape to do pretty much wherever you want. If you want, like I say, with a more intricate design with this detail tape, you could lay this out on a piece of glass, cut it with an X-Acto knife, razor knife kind of thing, and then do some really intricate shapes if you wanted to with it.
Well, you could take the center of that bowl and take a compass and scribe a line, scribe another line,
Yep.
and just tape inside and outside of the line.
Yeah.
The pencil line you put on.
Yeah.
And
And
do a little straight or something to go by.
yeah, exactly.
So this feels like it just kind of swelled up in little pimples.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of the way?
Yeah. And then when I let it set for a little bit and go back and wipe it off with a little bit of denatured, it'll be down into the wood a little bit further than.
Is it like fuzzy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When he asked if he could rub it, it felt fuzzy.
Kind of makes me wonder what I had some of those Hodgsons. They were black powder, but they were pellets, like a big pellet, basically a preformed pellet, and you put down in like muzzle loaders and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I still had some of those because I just used them all up and never found them again. Just thinking what that would do to
Yeah.
this, but it'd probably just be a big splash burn instead of being stuck like this is.
All righty. That's pistol powder.
It's also going to depend on the grade of the powder too, or how fast it burns. Because you got
Yeah, there was
F, double F,
Yeah.
triple F.
Yeah, there was a huge chart of stuff over there. But interestingly enough, it seemed to me that the faster it burned, the more expensive it got.
Oh,
And I was going for cheap. So, so this is now, I'm going to use a little bit of, it's not going to be nearly as much fun because it's smokeless powder. Okay? But now this is a much finer powder than what I'm used to using. So this is kind of a new experiment for me here tonight.
so this is a substitute black powder.
Oh. Okay.
It's kind of like I was describing that American Pioneer powder. So I don't know if it would
Yeah.
act the same way when you clean a pistol up.
I'm just going to use just this edge up here a little bit. Thank you, John.
Hey, John, do you think the other clubs would be interested in seeing this at the Saturday demonstration?
It'd outside.
It'd have to be
Oh,
outside.
it'd have to be outside.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you got out of that one, buddy.
Oh, darn.
Like an old phone booth.
Sounds like they're trying to cook you. Put them in the booth and rotate them every half hour.
Alrighty. Now we should, because the granular stuff in this is much finer, it should be a whole different pattern. Or not. I'm not sure.
Definitely less flashy.
Yeah. Not nearly as much fun.
No.
This one you could do in your basement. I did. One of the fellows that I used to work with in Connecticut was doing this out on his front porch one time. And what he did is he got the bowl up here, and he didn't clean the inside of the bowl out before he set it off. So it started going. He got his finger burnt, and so he tossed it, and it hit the container of powder and burned up the siding on his house. Now this is really kind of cool. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was. Wow. I like that. It looks almost golden.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I will play with that some more. So, enough of gun and pistol powder. That's the rifle powder, and as it flashed off of there, it almost looks like gold. I think the other thing you could do is if you had a rim on your bowl and you were thinking about doing like the inlay stuff, you could also lay a little bit of glue in there and do this, on the recessed inside of the bowl lid, Yeah, there's lots of possibilities here. But that's rifle powder. Okay? Now, on to the chemistry.
You want a regular towel?
No, no, sure, it's good. Thank you.
Some dip behind the cloud.
Did you turn that bow?
Huh? This one?
No,
The blue one.
Oh, yeah. This is, if you take this, these two things, the potassium and the sugar, and you lay it in and smear it on your piece, and then lightly hit it. It looks like porcelain. Yeah, definitely.
We get a few grains of salt out of that jar.
Huh? What? No, I'd never admit it. So what you want to do with
We're
this?
disconnecting the camera now.
Wait a minute. Is that sirens?
Yeah.
There has been this black helicopter that's been back over. Yeah, exactly. This one. This is where you get to play like a chemist. And you want to use equal portions of sugar and potassium nitrite. Okay? So I've got a 1 tablespoon measure here. Hmm?
Nitrate to begin with.
Nitrite. Nitrite it starts as, and then it ends up being nitride when it is heated and cooked. Okay?
Here they come now.
Yeah, oh my God.
Municipal.
You didn't see that.
That was cool.
How timely.
Yeah.
How do you find that stuff?
Now, this, I went to, initially I went to a website that they sold butchering products, you know, the meat grinders and all that good stuff, and then they had the seasonings, and then they had containers of this. Now, interestingly enough, I then found another site that's called Seed World. They're out of, I believe, California, and they primarily suggest you use this stuff for your tomatoes and your flowers and your garden vegetables, because it makes the root system much bigger, more vigorous growth, and all of this kind of thing. That was on the front of their package. I've never tried it with that, so I don't know any. But this was significantly less as a garden product than it was a meat processing product. So,
A slaughterhouse might have something.
yeah, they more than likely have it, or
Process deer or something.
yeah, because they've got to buy it somewhere. Yeah, and especially if they're helping people process a deer and do the sausage or whatever.
Deer sticks.
Yeah.
It would be more pure if it's food safe.
The what?
It would be more pure if it's food safe.
Mm-hmm. So I've got that. And just got a little whisk here and stirring it up. Oh no, the potassium's lumpy. Here we go, get rid of all. So we got that.
Do you want like a Play-Doh or oatmeal?
Yeah. Something like that. And I added too much water. It doesn't take much water, and I managed to do too much. So I'll add another tablespoon of each to it. Yeah, you want it so that if you wanted to form a certain kind of shape with it, you know, roll it out and all, you need it pretty firm.
Does it smell like cotton candy? when-
Not yet. No. I don't know. I don't remember what if there was any smell to it at all.
The way you didn't use very much water.
No, not at all. But yeah, I think I had a bigger drink than I put in here. So there it is, set up here on the whisk like that, and it could still be poured out.
That's not the same stuff that the Oklahoma City bomber used, is it?
No, no, that was ammonium nitrate and diesel fuel, and it probably used a little bit of gunpowder in it to get an explosion going. But yeah, that ammonium nitrate is like real powerful stuff. So anyway, what I can do here is I can just take some of this.
Can you write your name in cursive?
No, we don't teach that in schools anymore.
And that's
It's coming back.
Yeah.
We still teach it, Mike. You could put that like in a little dropper bottle and kind of
Yeah.
squeeze it out
You could-
and create a
Yeah,
pattern.
yeah, could do that.
Right, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
all kinds of good stuff.
Good
Or
idea.
an acid brush and create texture patterns.
And I'm just taking this whisk that I have and just kind of dabbing it on in places because I want it to look real random.
Or you could take a stenciling brush,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yep. A lot of good ideas coming out, Corey.
I know, I'm hearing you. In fact, to be honest with you, I've talked to a lot of people about doing this, but this is the first club demo I've ever done with this particular stuff. In fact, there's a fellow down in Australia, fellow Maurizio Minetti, and at Collab one year he was there and we talked about this, and he, being in Australia, would have trouble getting a hold of the potassium nitrite or gunpowder in particular. Yeah, you have to, for him in Australia, he would have to apply to wherever and ask if he could get a certain quantity of it, and they would be very, very limiting on the amount of that they would allow him to have.
I think that's gonna be interesting, where it's slopping down the lip right there.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like lava or something.
Exactly. The first fellow I saw do this, he did a real flat piece, and it had like maybe 8 or 10 points on it that came out, and then he did this in it, and then painted it all, and it looked like a moonscape kind of piece. Yeah, it was really, really pretty. So let's give this a shot.
Is it smokeless?
I don't know. We'll find out. Gotta hold it up. Huh? Damn it. Hmm? Yeah. And then it kind of runs out here, all kind of cool like. It's running away from me now.
Much water?
Yeah, it's getting runnier as I heat it up. Need more stuff in it. Anyway, this isn't working so well.
Still too much water in it?
Hmm?
Still too much water in
Yeah,
it, Rick?
yeah, I think so. What? Yeah.
Never seen a valve. The valve must be going.
Looks new. Looks new.
How much more time do I have?
It is a little extra.
Oh, okay, I'll quickly do this and we'll finish up. Here we go. Hopefully this will work better. It might be because I'm using organic sugar too.
Does it matter?
I don't know. I thought sugar was sugar, but
Yeah, if you're, probably also depends on how refined it is.
yeah, it's same refinement as regular white sugar, but
It's just not bleach.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I need to bleach in it to make it work.
Call that enrichment.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Now let's have the police go through.
That burns a good long while too.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
That reminds me like those little snakes you always used to
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of smells like them too. Anyway, then I would turn this off before we hurt somebody. Huh?
I'd recommend getting a new one.
Quick,
send that around. We'll do some more here in a minute. And if you let it set and burn in, it's got to be thick.
That's interesting.
Followers tonight online.
I don't know. I had a weird comment from some guy named Mike Warren.
Good job, Ford.
Hey, thank you. Any questions so far? I encourage you all to try this, play with it a little bit, enjoy it, and then when you, but always do it outdoors, please. Don't do it in your basement where there's sawdust and sanding dust and all of that stuff, you know. But there you are, rifle powder, pistol powder, and potassium nitrate. Yes.
Question about the binder. You use glue to put on the powders. Would anything work that it'll stick to?
Pardon me?
Would anything else work? Gasoline, anything that's
Yeah.
tacky like wax?
Yeah. The reason that I do the Elmer's glue on there is that the scrapbooking stuff has less acid in it, and it requires less to clean it up later, the edge, and get it ready to spray finish on.
Less than just plain beeswax or more.
I-
I'm just curious.
I have never tried that. To be honest with you, beeswax would probably work, okay? But I've never tried it. Yeah,
Well, the glue is a lot easier.
yeah. Did a lot of that come off on you?
Yeah.
You need a rag?
It's going everywhere.
Huh?
It's going everywhere.
You have black pants on.
This stuff's white.
So yeah, Scott, it ended up being real thick. This is what,
Ooh, catch that on.
Play-Doh? Oh, I don't want to ruin my beautiful bowl. Yeah, that's my ice cream bowl, actually. Or one of a couple. Thank you. No, I'm done. I don't want to take up your whole evening.
We're gonna do the denature stuff.
No. That just wipes down. Make sure you got all the residue off your piece. But I could set another bit of it off. What's it smell like, Jerry? Not much at all. Can I do? Let me do one more burn here.
Oh, it's firm now, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I added enough stuff to it to soak up all the water.
I've got to change out the bowl on that side.
One more real quick one.
Go for the big burn this time.
Yeah. We got her working now. And you can see with all the burn mark that you get on this, that's the reason that you want to probably paint it or put some milk paint on it or something. After you take a small wire brush and brush it all down and clean it all up, then you'd want to It doesn't surprise me this valve is probably not the best in the world. It's only been dropped off the bench onto the concrete floor half a dozen times or more.
Usually they're pretty good about sealing up, so there's probably something inside that valve.
Yeah.
Is that tank full? That tank new? That's like when you turn it open, you wide open it, it's not
Yeah.
getting any hotter.
It's not getting, it doesn't seem to get any better.
That's the sign the bottle's low.
Yeah.
If your gas bottle's low.
Yeah, and I've had better luck with this with MAP gas than I have with propane.
Yeah, well, that and it's propane. You turn a propane bottle upside down, that liquid gets you.
And gas fry.
Yeah.
Hopefully they aren't just like gassing everybody here.
With what?
I don't know what they're off with.
I don't know. That's why we do it outdoors, John. Yeah. Is it drifting inside? Whoops.
Good to hit on me on that one. I got gas in my truck.
Oh. Okay.
That's a rust preventative.
Well, it's a tough crowd tonight.
So mice are all in this canopy.
Boom. And then we'll take this. Ah, yeah, much better. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That really went down into the wood really, really nicely. Okay? Pass it around your...
John wants to put
Oh,
camera
camera first? Alrighty. Well, thank you all. I appreciate you being here. I had a good time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, playing with fire. Oh, until somebody puts their eye out and yeah. Any questions, comments, concerns, issues?
I want to see how big that paste is.
Yeah, yeah. And as long as you're mixing your two pieces in equal portion, and then just a tiny bit of water, it'll work for you.
I thought that was a nice piece.
I didn't like rock powder texture.
I did too. I like that because it changes color.